Today we're building the Lenox Spice Village in The Sims 4, and this is the beginning of a 6-part series because I certainly do not have time to build 24 tiny little spice houses on one day, but I do have time to build 4 of them. My spice village came in the mail about a month ago, and I still have not opened it, so I thought that it would be fun for us to open 4 of the houses together, build them in the game, and then put them on the shelf behind me so we can track our progress. And then eventually they'll go somewhere in my house where they'll permanently be displayed, but for now they're going to be part of our background as we're completing all of these houses. I'm just now realizing that I want to do this in alphabetical order, but I don't know if it's going to be obvious which house is which when I start unwrapping them. It is certainly not obvious. The paper is so cute. It's cinnamon. Wait, am I doing that one today? No, I'm not. We're going to wrap it back up, and I'm going to go through the very tedious process of finding our first 4 houses. This is Basil, Allspice, Celery, gonna be the very last one. I can feel it. It is indeed the last one in the box. Bay. Alrighty, so now that I have my 4 little spice houses sitting in front of me for reference, I'm also going to be using James Turner's random Create-a-Sim family generator thing, just to add to the challenge and also to give me some kind of direction when I'm furnishing the houses for an idea of how many Sims there are, who they are, that kind of thing. But we're really going to focus on getting the outsides looking as much like these houses as possible, and then theming the insides to the spice itself. So first things first, we're going to be completing all of these builds in Henford-on-Bagley. I just felt like these little spice cottages fit in perfectly with the vibe of this world. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead and created our shells because I just knew that the roofs were going to be a nightmare and it was going to be so much fiddling. And I started just playing around with some different window and door options just to see what made sense based off of some images I found of the Spice Village houses online. But now that I'm looking at the ones that I have in front of me, these don't look that similar. I need to make some tweaks here. So I'm going to do some tweaking to the outsides, and then we're going to do our first random cast generator to see what kind of family we're working with. I'm moderately more happy with what has been done now. I just tried to fix all of the roofs, and I realized that I think all of the houses were too tall. And then the other thing that I'm finding is we do not have these pastel roof colors in the game, which is fine because they're not like normal roof colors, but it is making it very hard to find something that looks good. Like this Allspice house I have basically given up on. I don't think I'm gonna find anything that looks quite right. We just don't have a pastel yellow roof, but I do think this shape looks a lot better than the way I had it before. I'm really happy with this. I can actually see on the inside that there are blue curtains in here, so I think I think this house is just never gonna look right because I can't get the proportions of the roof to be quite what they need to be, but that's okay. The other thing I'm noticing is that these little places where I put the fences in are actually like brick half walls, so I'm gonna fix that and I'm gonna find a new door. I cannot handle this weird colored fence. Oh my God, I hate this house. Ooh, this feels better already. I feel like the fact that the columns are yellow is not really coming through. That looks a little bit better. And then honestly, I feel like the yellow roof is kind of iconic, but what if I just simply didn't do that and I just did something completely different like that? And for the sake of me not hating how this looks, I would also really like if the friezes matched. That would make me happy. I think I need to move on from this one. We're gonna move on to Basil. And this one, again, I just want to get the front looking a little bit better. I think this one is pretty good, but I just want to make sure I'm not overlooking anything now that we have some taller door options. Ooh, I actually really like this one. That makes me also want a bigger window here. This is cool. This is almost exactly the same kind of thing. This is just honestly kind of a little small. I think I've decided I want this recreation to look good and not necessarily pick the thing that's closest to each individual element. So we're gonna find something that looks good and just go with that. I think for these, this is as good as we're gonna get. I like this one. We're gonna move on to Bay. Bay has a nice blue door. This one is way too modern. I do want these to still look kind of cottagey. So the door itself is blue, and then it looks like it has windows on either side of it. So it's kind of like this. Oh, this is what I was looking for. I think this is what I had in the first place. You know what? We're going back to this. Looking at this again, I like this better than whatever we had here before. We're just going to raise it up a little bit. Okay. Back on track. That looks about right. And honestly, this house also looks like it has a little porch. This house also looks like it has paneling on it. What white paneling do I want to use today? Ooh, this one. This looks exactly like this. Like the texture on here is exactly that. This house is going to be so tiny. Oh my God. I really hope that we don't have a big family in this one. Oh, this one is so short. I think this one gets a backyard for sure. That looks a little bit better. And then this one has like a little front step and that's about it. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Now for Bay, I just need a little window to go up in here. And then ooh, maybe some spandrels or something. Oh, this one's kind of fun. I kind of like that. Oh, I actually really like this. We're gonna do this one. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my God, I keep wanting to move on. I keep forgetting about my window. What if we had a filter that was like windows with shutters? That would be so nice. It doesn't have to have shutters, I guess. I would like it to be a little rounded at the top like this one is. That one looks pretty good. Ooh, these are fine. This is fine. We're moving on to the last one. On to Celery, which I'm pretty happy with the roof. I think we can do a little bit better with the upstairs window. And then obviously we have to do the downstairs stuff, which this one definitely has a little porch area. So I'm just gonna scooch everything back a little bit. This last house actually came together pretty quickly because there was just an entire set of windows and doors that looked really similar to the actual Spice house. So that one is done. They're all done now, actually. As far as the fronts go, I'm trying to decide if I want to do the entire outside and then figure out what families we're working with, or if I should wait in case I need to extend any of them out the back if we need more room. I think I'll wait. So let's go ahead and figure out what families are going to be in these houses. And then if you look from the top, you can see very easily that some of these houses are much bigger than others, and some of them also have a second floor. So I think I want to roll and figure out all of the families before setting them all in any one specific house, or like rolling for each house and just going like that, because if I have to put 7 Sims in here or 8 Sims in here, it's just gonna really suck. It's gonna suck for me, it's gonna suck for you, it's gonna suck for everyone, and we're not gonna do that. So let's figure out who these families are. Okay, we have our random family thing pulled up. I'm gonna hit generate a few times, and this is our first family. Obviously, we're not going to be following all of these because we have them living in a very specific location. So some of these aren't going to apply, but this is a family of an adult, a young adult, and 2 teens. So we need to have a 4-person family, and I am just going to take a screenshot of this, and we're going to figure out afterwards where all these families are going. Okay, and let's see who the next one is. Ooh, it actually would have been kind of fun if I just kept generating until I got 4 families that all were supposed to live in Henford-on-Bagley, but we're too far gone now. 2 elders, a young adult, a teen, and a cat. Another 4-person family, interesting. Okay, and our 3rd family, I think I hit it one too many times. Oh, just a teen. Okay, I think we know what house they're going in. And our last family, a teen and a child. Okay, it is what it is. I finished up putting windows on all of the houses. I've done all the floor plans, and in our first house here for Allspice, we have our family with 2 elders, a young adult, and a teen. For Basil, we have an adult and a young adult, and then 2 teens. For Bay, we have a teen, and now that I'm looking at the floor plan, I'm now realizing that I didn't give them a bathroom. So let me just fix that really quick. I think that'll work. I think that's good enough. Okay, anyway, and then our last house is our teen and our child, who are just going to share bunk beds up here. But now that the outsides and the floor plan are all set, I think we can start tackling the interior. So we'll start with Allspice. So I just looked up a little bit about Allspice, and it seems like it's used in a lot of fall and wintry kind of foods, like gingerbreads, fruitcakes, pumpkin pies were some of the first things that came up. So I think that I'm going to try to make this house really orange, red, warm tones, and kind of like fall themed. I think I'm going to change the doors to pink to match the windows so that the outside and the inside all kind of tie together. Why is this clipping through here? I hate that so much. We're gonna have to put something on the wall on that side to cover that up. Then I think I just want to do the paint everywhere. Is there a version of this that doesn't have the wood at the bottom? That would be really good. There's probably not. Ooh, that's pretty close. I think that's close enough. I don't think that will bother me. Then I would like a nice wallpaper here in this bedroom. That one's kind of fun. I feel like that actually matches a lot of the colors that are in the house and all the little details. It has the gold and the pink. I think that my story for this family in my head is going to be that there are two grandparents. Actually, maybe they're just two parents who have older kids. So there's two parents, they have their young adult child and then their teenage child living with them. So this is kind of like a normal family. They're not like elders who have been elders for a long time. They're like newly aged up elders. Is who I'm envisioning. So maybe I don't want this dark of a wallpaper. I feel like I'm bouncing around so much. I think I just need to focus on one room. Let's do the bedroom first. There are so many new items since the last time I played this game that I am overwhelmed by options. I'm trying to decide if I want to lean into the pink or if I want to do something kind of contrasting like this. I kind of like this teal and pink combo. Okay, now we're getting to pink and blue. I'm not sure about this anymore. Ooh, I kind of like that. Although now I'm second guessing the door choice and a lot of other things. Maybe it's the wallpaper. Maybe we need to change that. Oh, okay, I really like this. That looks cool. Although I hate the pink doors now. I guess I could just go with a totally different door. I kind of wanted to use these new base game doors. At least I don't know if they're actually new. I know that they're new to me. Let's give them a little nightstand. I don't know if we'll be able to fit one on this side. Maybe a tiny one. What about a little pop of yellow? I don't know if that's the place to put it, but I will consider that for later. I like having these two different shaped gold nightstands. That looks really good actually. And what else do we need in here? We need a dresser. I think we'll just go for this little slim one, and then I would like to put something here. Maybe a plant. That looks good. Moving on to their bathroom. Everything is in its place. And I just really like the idea of giving them a yellow bathroom for some reason. It makes it nice and bright since this is a room with no windows. Now we need a nice little tile, maybe a little patterned one would also add some fun to the room. Cute. Ooh, I do love this wallpaper. Is this too much patterns? I'm gonna say no, but it probably is. We'll revisit this. I like that. Okay, on to the kitchen, which we're gonna do in this little narrow area over here. Maybe the stove can go here, and then we'll do sink here and then counter. I am just going to use the exact same sink in the kitchen, and I really don't care. I think that it will be fine. I might replace all of these upper cabinets with shelves, but big TBD on that. Ooh, actually, I could use these instead. That might make me feel better. Although I don't love these cabinets with this wallpaper. Is there another wallpaper? This. Maybe this doesn't make sense. Maybe we should do this, and then this, that. Yeah, I think I like this better. Okay, we tried something and it didn't work, and that's okay. I do kind of want to leave it for this room, or, ooh, that changes the entire vibe of the whole room, but I don't hate it. Okay, I like that. And then usually I would put a tile in the kitchen, but I don't know if this one needs it. And what it does need is the right wallpaper. I'm just now remembering that the entire reason why I made everything so dark and brown was because this was supposed to be kind of like autumnal, and that's not quite what we're doing anymore. But I think that that is okay. I think it's coming together regardless. On to our little dining area. I did want to use this cute little table because it has a little patterned tablecloth options, and that one is perfect. I love these chairs. These are some of my favorite chairs. I don't think they work here at all. Ooh, maybe these chairs. These are probably fine with the default swatch. What's the difference between this one and this one? Is there a difference between... Okay, so this one is the first swatch. This one is the last swatch. Please tell me what the difference is. Okay, so this one's selected. And then if I mouse over this one, it changes. If I mouse over this one, there's not a single difference. I'm gonna use that swatch. We are on to curtains. Ooh, I have been wanting to use these, and I think that now might be the perfect opportunity. Wow, this is looking so cute. I am concerned that the wall color is too vibrant, so I'm now wondering what if... Oh, that's what I was looking for. This feels like what I've been looking for the entire time. And we will quickly do the little living room. I feel like I had an identity crisis with this house because part of me wants to stick to the kind of like pastel-y theme, but then part of me also wants to embrace the spice itself. So I had a lot of trouble with this. I changed quite a few things since I think the last time that you saw it. We're kind of going with like fall or like warm neutrals, but in a brighter version with the brown with the flowers and just like lighter browns around, and then pops of yellow. yellow. I think that I like the pops of yellow because our roof was supposed to be yellow and it's not. So putting the yellow in the house is making me feel a little bit better about just totally taking it out of the roof. Changing up some of the color schemes in different areas is also just adding to like the fun pastel colors that we see on the outside, mostly with the pink that's in the shutters, and then also just a couple other little touches here and there. I need to clutter this, but for the sake of my sanity and not just staring at this build until it's done, I did do a couple other things. The first thing that I did was make our room for a teen, and their room is pretty much done. It definitely needs some clutter, but I've decided that the kids are the ones who really like the cat. So I put a cat tree in our teen's room, and then I put the litter box in the young adults room. So they kind of share ownership of the cat. Then I also made our young adult sim preppy. I guess I really just ended up using this random family generator to figure out the number of sims and their ages. But then I realized there's a lot of other details in there too. Again, it needs more decor, but we're going to do that later because if I just stay in this house, I will spend hours and hours here and we will never finish the other houses. So I am going to do all the details at the end just for the sake of this not being a million hours long, and we'll look at them when we see the final house tour. So we are going to move on to Basil. Basil I am much more familiar with than Allspice. I love basil. I use basil all the time. It's probably one of my favorite herbs. This is our house with an adult, a young adult, and 2 teens. Yes. So we're gonna have a parents' bedroom, teens share a bedroom. I'm assuming they're twins if they're in the same age group. So they're gonna be sharing a bedroom. They have bunk beds. I'm so sorry. I wish that I could give them a bigger bed, but I wanted to prioritize the bathroom space since all 4 of these sims are just gonna use this one bathroom. Yeah, that's the only bathroom for the whole house. I could probably put a bathroom downstairs if I wanted to, but I don't want it to feel overly crammed. So we're gonna have a kitchen back here, living room up here, and then bathroom. Maybe we can get like a little desk or something here by the window, parents' room, kids' room. That's the plan. And then they also have a little backyard area where I want them to be growing some basil because that actually exists in the game, unlike Allspice. So they have a little garden and they're gonna have some basil plants. Alrighty, starting in the living room, I'm trying to decide if I want all of these houses to have the same flooring because they're kind of supposed to be made by the same builders, or if they should all just be like quirky and fun. We'll keep this one for now, but I may change it. And for this house, we are filtering by green items, which I did very recently because I started playing the Very Veggie Challenge in my free time. The first gen is broccoli. So I've been looking at a lot of the green stuff in this game recently. A lot of it I feel like doesn't fit for them because it's supposed to be dark green, and I would like to do something like this, something light and fun. Ooh, we could go with the plant wallpaper. I think we'll just go for something simple like this. And then our stairs should match. Then, okay, how do we want to do this living room? I think I want, ooh, does this house have a chimney? It does. Okay, I would like a fireplace. And I think this yellow swatch is perfect. I think greens and yellows is going to be the theme here. Is it weird to have the fireplace here in this kind of hallway area and then have the main living room over here? I'm picturing TV goes on this wall, and then we have our couch here, and then we have our little entryway table. I guess it should be over here, huh? And then what could go in here? Also, it says this family is rude. What was the Allspice one supposed to be? They're supposed to be mysterious. I don't think I really achieved that. I would like a nice green couch. I guess it could be neutral though. It doesn't have to be green. You know what? I think the real question is this the kind of family that has a matching... Ooh, this is cute. Where did this come from? This is so cute. I would like to nominate this couch. Perfect. I'm using it. Then I would like a nice little table over here. I kind of want it to be yellow, but that just looks ridiculous. So we're not doing that. No, I feel like they need a console table. I could actually get rid of these windows too. These do not have to be here. And that means this can scoot, and that means this can scoot, and that means that, ooh, what if I make like a custom bookshelf wall and have it all surrounding our frame TV? Never in my life have I used the filters so much. Oh my God. I feel like I have to use the filters to find literally anything. This is so cute, except I feel like some of these should be different colors. I think this is it. This makes me so happy. Okay, and now we need to do a little coffee table and something over here. Maybe a little bench would be nice. Or we could just do the book nook chair. I have really been enjoying this rug. I think it's a lot of fun. Am I getting too crazy with it? I don't think so. I think I like it. This has to go though. I don't like that there anymore. Okay, for the entryway. Ooh, now we can use my little squiggly, yes. Does that block the stairs? Not if I put it over here, doesn't. We'll just get a mirror here. What if I did something like this? That's kind of fun. I love this plant. I don't think I've used this before. Oh yeah, because it's from Businesses and Hobbies, and I have not played with that very much yet. Ah, it's so cute. Ideally, all of my decor over here is just going to be hanging on the wall. I wish that I could just cover up this hat in a way that looked slightly more convincing. Looks like they're hanging out of the hat. I hate that. Okay, we'll just put this down below. Perfect. And then, ooh, maybe a little rug here. And then I think that's it. Apparently, I can't pick a rug to save my life, so we're just gonna go with this one and call it a day. On to the kitchen. I think I would like some fun colored appliances, but I also don't need them. So maybe I'll just use appliances I haven't used before, and that will be fun for me. Like this one. I have not used this yet. Ooh, no, we can't do a yellow kitchen like the other one. What are the main colors on this Basil house? It's light blue and it's yellow. So I guess we could kind of do the yellow kitchen if we wanted to. You know what? This time we're gonna do yellow appliances, but we're gonna do a different, oh, actually I kind of like this color. Ooh, what if we do like an all white kitchen? And then maybe some fun tiles on the wall. Oh, I love these tiles. Okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing the kitchen. Oh, where am I gonna put their dining table can go right here in front of the door. Let's just, how was I going to do that? We're not using this table, but hypothetically, if I were to, do we think that if I scooched this a little bit towards the wall, they would still be able to get into this chair and also use the door? I think that could work. Am I gonna play in this house? I don't think so. Do I care? I'll shuffle it around if I need to. Back to the kitchen. We said all white, but I don't think I want it to be like super all white. So we're gonna do this light wood color. Ooh, is that the best place to put the fridge? So we have fridge, stove, sink, and then trash can. Let me do the trash can before I forget. Boop, that will go there. I'm actually really liking this sink. I think that it's so cute with little dishes in it. Just to make it snazzy, I think I'm gonna do this little paneling trick that I used to do all the time. Just a straight beam. It looks really silly because the walls are so high, but it's like, it highlights the stove just a little bit, just a little accent for the stove. That we also need to carry this through to here. Okay, and then we'll just get our little cabinets in. Cute. And then I would like a different light in here. Ooh, I like the colors in this one. We'll do that. Maybe that should actually be the light over the dining table. Yeah, let's do that instead. We'll keep the standard light. Ooh, I do want a, what's it called? A vent hood? Stove hood. That's what it's called. Perfect. Ooh, or do I want the one that comes down from the sky? I mean the ceiling. Yes. Bye-bye. Perfect. It goes in line with our beam. That is good enough for now, except this cabinet looks crazy. We're gonna move on to the dining area. Goodbye. These people have some really nice furniture and some really nice appliances, so I feel like their dining table should also be pretty nice. I like this one. It's nice and clean and modern. And then for the chairs, you know what? Maybe we just keep it simple and we just go, ooh, we just go with these. And then we'll give them a fun little rug. I really wish that I could center the rug and this is gonna drive me insane. I think I might have to do a round rug. You know what? We're gonna do this little jute rug, and if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not ask me. I will not be responding to them. That is the kitchen done, except we need some curtains. I really love this curtain, but I wish that it came in more solid colors because after this one, the colors get a little funky. I don't think I have ever used this curtain, and now it seems like the perfect time. I love it. That is so cute. Oh, how do I want to do this one? Maybe I'll just do a single curtain. Colors do I have? Nothing all that fun, if I'm being honest. Please. This is too big of a pain to move. You know what? We're just gonna pretend that the bar extends. It's fine. No one's looking that closely. No one's looking that closely. Look, we're on the second floor. You can't even see it anymore. On to the master bedroom. I would like a nice green springy double bed. That is insane. Not like that. Not that one. Maybe this one could be good, or their walls. Wall patterns. Ooh. Or do I want to use a fun wallpaper in the bathroom? Do I want to use this one in the bathroom? I think I do. I think that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's going over there so I don't forget. This is fancy. Wow, it's so bright in this room. Ooh, I kind of like the idea of doing this as an accent wall and then the rest of it is something else. Well, I kind of like the idea of them having these two accent walls because maybe they also have a little seating area over here. I guess this has to be where their dresser goes though. But I do like this accent wall. Okay, maybe they have a full-length mirror over here. I really don't love that the mirror is facing the bed, but I'm just gonna get over that because at least it's not my room. And then we'll put a dresser here, maybe one of the tall ones. I think we might have to go with this one. I wish that it was a little bit taller and I wish that it had a darker swatch that I liked, but I think this will be fine. Ooh, they have room for one of those little beds. Not beds, the little benches. In my head, I call this a Michael Scott bed because that's just what it is. Ooh, this one looks so luxe. I love this. I'm really struggling to find an end table that fits both the space and the vibe. I think I might just do shelves and make it look like it's built in. Is this supposed to be like a salt lamp? What is this? While candlelight, this compact light evokes, it is as strong as a mighty chandelier when lighting dusty fools or smarter folks. Its little light can make confusion clear. Okay, this bedroom is looking pretty good. I think it just needs a rug and then maybe some curtains and a different light. We're done. And I really like this painting specifically because something about it makes me feel like the kids made it as an art project when they were younger and they just made it on this huge canvas and now it's framed in their parents' room and I think that that's adorable. So main bedroom, done. On to the teens room. I would love, as if anyone is watching this, anyone who can make a difference is watching this, I would love if we could filter by bunk beds. Why can we not filter by bunk beds? Maybe we can. Maybe I missed something. I haven't played this game in a very long time. If someone can solve all of my problems and tell me where all these filters are, that would be so exciting. I like the idea of them having the same frame of their bed, but having different sheet sets. What color walls? Oh, I forgot that we have these windows in here. Maybe I need to rethink the bedding. I think that's fine. I think that's okay. Should it match the... No. Nope. This is it. It's gonna be okay. It'll be fine. Ooh, actually, instead of giving them an end table, maybe I'll do that little thing from Tiny Living because then it can go here and then the one who's on the top bunk can use it as an end table and then this one can use the bottom drawers for stuff like an end table. I almost like the idea that because they're kind of pressed for space, the one who's on the top bunk does her makeup sitting in her bed because I've decided it's their she's because she doesn't want to have to use the same shared bathroom with everyone and then they don't really have floor space over here for like a vanity, so she does her makeup from her bed on her top bunk. And what else do they really need in here? Technically this is a dresser, but I would like them to have a bigger one. This is really cute. Oh my god. Is there a world where we fit this over here and have it not look stupid? Yes. Yes, 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 I like this. And then a little desk setup over here. Ooh, they could have like a big L-shaped desk that they share. Maybe. Maybe not. Ooh, I have an idea. They could have, oh my god, I had a friend in middle school who had one of those glass top desks and she just had a piece of glass that, I don't know, her dad got from somewhere. And then she had table legs that he put on it from IKEA and it was just like sitting on top and it looked so nice. And I remember being so jealous of her desk every time I went to her house. So we're gonna recreate that here, my childhood dream of having a glass top desk in my room. Ooh, I kind of like the pattern mixing. One of them has this giant ultra wide setup and then the other one has like an iPad. Maybe they share both of them. They use them when they need to. Ooh, I can give them pegboards. Okay, we're doing a pegboard wall. Beautiful. This is so cute. I should probably utilize the rest of this pegboard. I'm gonna fill that in and then we will come back and finish. Oh, the bathroom door disappeared, or we'll finish the bathroom and then this house will be done. So moving on to the bathroom, I actually kind of like this tile with this wallpaper, so I think we're just going to keep it. So what we need to do is figure out a layout. I know that I want to have, ooh, this is kind of a nice toilet. I haven't used this one before. Know that we need a toilet, we need a sink, we need a shower, or actually I think we'll do a shower tub combo. This whole family is sharing the same bathroom, so maybe it makes sense to have like a little toilet room and we had a shower over here and then the sinks over here and then a door to this little toilet room right here. This is not how I would normally like to do my bathrooms, but I think that this is how we're gonna have to do it. I also kind of like the idea of using one of these showers that's like walled on all sides so that We have some kind of like plausible deniability of privacy, I guess. Like maybe someone's even taking a shower in here and someone else can be using the sink and stuff. This sink is so cool. Wait, I want to use this. I've never used this before. Oh my God, this is so cool. I love this. Okay, we're using that. And then where's that toilet that I liked? Is this from the new bathroom stuff? I think it is. What if we did it like that? Ooh, or what if we did? No, we'll leave it at that. And then this can have the wallpaper still and that little flooring. I think that's pretty good. I think we just need some mirrors. Ooh, they have these fun squiggly ones. That's really impractical for all these people sharing a space, as if it really matters that much. Oh my God, that's not the right mirror. And then maybe we'll do some little wall sconces in the mirror so it all looks like this big built-in thing. I think this is just supposed to be a nightlight, but I kind of like the idea of something like this. Boop. We'll just keep it nice and neutral. I like the idea that they have this little storage area right by the door, and this is where they have to keep all of their stuff. And I also like the idea that each person has a toothbrush. Like there's 2 in here, there's 1 here, and then there's 1 here, and there's a bunch of toothpaste. Okay, and I think this house is pretty much done. I did want to put something here, but I think I'm just gonna come back to it when I add in some more detail and do my final pass, because I don't quite know what I want to put there now. I was gonna do a desk, but now they have their desk in here. But for all intents and purposes, oh my God, in the backyard. I know I want basil plants back there, but I think for all intents and purposes, basil is now complete. Now onto Bay, and this house is just going to have a teen in it. It says that they're a dog lover, outdoorsy, they like gray, they dislike orange, and they're supposed to have a creepy walk. So that makes me feel like they're maybe like a runaway, even a runaway teenage vampire. Maybe they're just a teenage vampire. They're just a teen forever. They're Edward Cullen and they live in this Bay house. I wanted this to be like, oh my God, a cute little studio apartment type of house, but now I feel like it's gonna be more like creepy. Maybe it's kind of run down. They're supposed to have a creepy walk, so maybe they're just like a creepy person. I don't like building houses for creepy people. Okay, it's gonna be fine. Do we have any like scuffed up floors? I feel like we have to. They have a creepy walk, but it doesn't mean they're creepy. They're a dog lover. They need to have a little dog. Oh, I was thinking, what if they're a werewolf? Do werewolves age? I actually don't know. I have not played with that pack enough. I feel like this has to be the most horrendous bed that we have in this game. Don't totally hate the headboard, but every single duvet option is horrible. This is kind of fun. I actually like this. Let's just keep this bed. I'm jumping around so much in this house. I would like them to have a real fridge, but maybe this rundown one. Maybe this is like a runaway teen. I can't make up my mind. I keep going back and forth. That one has a doggy on it. Maybe they have this little mini fridge with their pink dog sticker. And then they have a microwave. I'm just gonna use this new sink that I really like. There's that. And then in our bathroom over here, oh, wow. I know I said I was gonna figure out the layout of that main room, but I really just couldn't help myself. And then that's fine. Okay, that layout's figured out. This is mostly figured out. Maybe they can get a little dining table in here. I think we're just gonna lean into the idea that they're like scavenging for items. Scavenging for furniture. And then maybe this, and the chairs have to be mismatched. And then we have a little living area over here. I kind of like this sofa. I like that it has some of the blue that's in the pillows. I like that it's a pattern. I like how disheveled it looks. I like it. And then what else is from here? What else can we put in? Not that. Okay, that's the main layout. And then onto the bedroom. We can definitely get in a bedside table, but I would also like to consider, well, let's just look for one really quick. We'll just put this here for now. Oh, there's this little backyard. Oh, the backyard is perfect for their dog. Oh, wow. Okay, pet beds. I would like a pet bed, please. Oh, and we need a food bowl. Let's just put the food bowl right here so we don't forget. So I don't forget. Oh, drag you into this with me. I'm going to fix up all the colors in here and put some wallpaper on, and then we will basically be done with this house. Okay, so we have finished the teen's house, and I just put in a bunch of little decorations. I don't love how this is clipping. I may change that later, but I put in some more decorations. This is probably the most decorated house so far, and I think that's because it's not, none of these are big houses, but it's so small. It felt so much easier and like less overwhelming to clutter. So I started doing some of that, and then I swapped out the couch because I remembered that we have a lot of beaten up furniture from werewolves, and I also swapped the little box to sit on to the little tire thing. And I put a bunch of little cracks and stains on the floor and little things like that. So that one is done. And the next house is for our teen and our child. And I want this to feel like two sisters just decorated this whole house. Why are they living here by themselves? I have no idea. Let's pretend it's for something nice and not for something sad. But I want it to feel like they have just had free reign to decorate this whole house. They don't have the nicest stuff, but they have lots of little fun stuff. And I also decided that I want their upstairs bedroom area to be unfinished, and they've just like decorated it with cool curtains and like hung a bunch of fabric up on the walls, and they have string lights and they have a bunch of posters. So you'll see that even going up the stairs, it's almost like this is an extension that's been added on and it was never fully finished. The other thing is that we have this little sliding door out to what should be like a little Juliet balcony that you can't really get down from, but I've put in this ladder trellis thing from high school years. I've actually never used this in gameplay, but before I knew who was going to be living here, I thought it would be kind of fun to have like a teen bedroom up here and then they would sneak out at night. And now that they're basically their caregiver for their younger sibling, I'm thinking maybe that the younger sibling is actually the one sneaking out. I don't know if there's a limit, like child sims can't use this or something. For me, that's how this is working. So going back downstairs, I've started figuring out the little layout. I knew that I wanted them to have this fridge. I've been really excited about using this fridge. And then I wanted them to have some kind of fun colored cabinets. So I think we're going with a blue theme. I'm not sold on this wallpaper, or I guess paint, whatever. We may change it, we may not. And then I also gave them a little toaster oven. They don't have any real oven in here because I just didn't think they needed it. And then they have that little sink that I love. Oh, I also used the stairs from high school years. I was trying to find a carpeted staircase because that made more sense to me for this house, but I'm just gonna pretend that these are carpeted stairs. I think they're actually supposed to be like stone, like public building stairs, but in my head they're going to be carpeted stairs, and I think that I actually want to put carpeted floors up here. Ooh, another thing that I realized is in the little challenge family that was generated, it said that this family is hiding something, so I think that's whoever's sneaking out at night, they're hiding something. One of the Sims is boho, so that's going to become very apparent in the decor. Someone likes video gaming, so I think I'm going to have to get them a little console for the TV in the living room. And someone dislikes mischief. I think that's the sibling that's not sneaking out. I think I will start by putting in the console. I've just put a few different seating options that I like. I don't know that we will use all of these, but I thought it would be nice to have options. Ooh, this chair. And is there one that looks like macarons? Yes, that. And then these can go upstairs. I think a lot of the movie hangout stuff is going to come in handy. Do they have a boho style in the decor? Yes. What if, as a fun challenge for myself, I can only pick things for the rest of the house that are in this boho style? I'm gonna try that and see if I want to pull out all my hair. Ooh, yes. What else? Maybe some wall art. Let's do, will this fit here? Oh, yes. I'm not gonna put these here, but these are so cute because one of them's for the teen and one of them's for the child. That's going here. This can go over here. Just some more little blankets and pillows because we're having a sleepover every single day of our lives. I would like a floor mat. Just a little entryway one. Maybe we can use this one and size it down. Perfect. Now we need to do something about these beds. Because this is ruining the entire vibe. Maybe we can use this one. Ooh, maybe for the other bed we can do something like this. Those are so cute. I love this. This is my favorite room of the whole house. Oh, I love these. I think that it's so cute when they build the little Lego things together. This is where we get in a little desk with a computer chair and some little decorations. Okay, I think this is pretty good. They each have a couple little posters and things near their beds. They've decorated over by the computer. This whole wall has been decorated. And ooh, I think we could use some curtains here. And I think that's looking good. So I am going to finish decorating all of these houses, putting on finishing touches, doing the backyards, and then we will do the final reveal. I'm on day 3 of making this video, and I do not have it in me to put the same shirt on for the 3rd day in a row for the sake of continuity. So we're in a different shirt. The jig is up, and we are going to tour the houses. I have put all the finishing touches, all the landscaping, all the little details, all the little storyline things that I thought of love in here for these families. And now we're gonna do some house tours. Starting with Allspice, we have our nice little entryway and living room. On the other side, we have our little dining table with our cute little mugs. And I'm really liking this wallpaper now that we're in here. We have our tiny, slim little kitchen. Then around the other side of the stairs, we have a little bookcase. And through the door, we have our master bedroom. So in here, we have their little dresser, we have their little shelf, we have their little end tables. I put this little guy under here because I just wanted something else with this table, and now I feel like it looks like he's in jail. So I promise he's being taken very good care of. Moving on to the bathroom. Oh, we are outside. Okay, the bathroom it looks small from this angle, but it's just a normal 2x3 tile bathroom. And now we are going up the stairs. Oh, up the stairs, please. And now upstairs we have a little hallway, which has some unfilled picture frames. Because I haven't actually made any of these families yet. I think that I will because I'm kind of attached to them now, but I like the idea of them having little family photos displayed on the walls up here. You'll see that I have these empty family photo frames in a couple of these houses, and I just think they're so sweet. And then we have a little thermostat. And our first bedroom over here is our teens room and just some little clutter. Then the next room is our very long, weird shaped bathroom. This one, I wanted to kind of match the downstairs a little bit more. This is the bathroom that the two sisters, they're sisters in my head, that the two sisters share. We have a bath mat that their mom probably picked out because Allspice is supposed to be kind of like autumnal, and this is the only place that I remembered to do that. But that's okay. Then we have their towels, and we have a little shower stall thing. And then at the other side of this very narrow hallway, we have the other sister's room. And she is supposed to be preppy. My favorite part about this room is the horse painting. I really truly thought when I was putting this up that the little white animal was a little cat. And I was like, that's so cute because she loves the cat. Like, she loves the cat so much. She keeps the litter box in her room, even though that's like the worst job to have as the pet owner, to be the one who keeps the litter box in your room. But her room was really the only place I could fit it. And so I was like, wow, she just loves the cat. Like, this is her childhood bedroom painting that was hung up when she was little, and she's just never gotten rid of it because it's these little like ponies and kitties, and those are indeed goats, not cats. So I'm just gonna move on with my life and from this build on to Basil. I forgot to put a basil plant out front. Okay, I'll fix that. I'll fix that at some point before I upload it. Going into the front door, we have a nice bright living room, and I really wanted this house to be just like bright and green and colorful and fun. I did not really hold back at all. Sometimes when I have to stick to a strict color theme, I try to limit myself, but I really just like using all kinds of colors, and this house I think makes me the happiest. And not just because it has a big bookshelf wall that looks, I wouldn't say similar to my big bookshelf wall, but you can tell that I love a big bookshelf wall because look at my whole background. But I really liked how this turned out. I just think using all the different colors of books and stuff, it makes it look really fun. And I liked putting the little books on top to decorate. I've also decided that this family likes to travel, and even though that's not quite a thing in this game in the way that I would like it to be, they have some little knickknacks around that indicate to me that they picked up a little sculpture souvenir thing on one of their travels. So that is that little train car trolley. I don't know. Anyway, moving on around, we have some little things hung up by the front door. We have another family photo picture wall. On to our little hallway here with a little fireplace. This house had a chimney, so I had to fit a fireplace in somewhere. Then we have our little living room table. Since they have two teens, I figured this table is probably mostly used for doing homework, so they just have some books stacked on it. Then around here in the kitchen, I am in the light fixture, please. Their kitchen is pretty neutral compared to the rest of the house. They do have this kind of greenish tile, but then everything else is really subdued, mostly like white and beige. Even their clutter is kind of like white and beige, just to balance out how colorful everything else is, and have a little calming moment in the kitchen. And then we can go out the back door to our little patio with our basil front and center. These are basil plants, and I got them from a little room off the gallery because I could not be bothered to grow my own when someone else has grown them perfectly well for me. So the basil plants are right there. And then we have some little loungers out here. Another little like plant sprout pot seedling maybe of basil that they're gonna plant someday. Maybe in that front pot. Maybe that's the story there. Yeah, just lots of green stuff. Some little fun little string lights. That's what those are called. Back inside, let's go upstairs. Upstairs, we have a little, oh my god. Please. Upstairs, we have a little landing area, and this is where we have kind of a workstation. I'm assuming someone in the house is very creative. I was thinking one of the parents, and maybe both of the parents. Maybe one of them's into art, maybe one of them's into candle making, but this is loosely inspired by one of my coworkers who is also a friend, and she sent me a picture a few weeks ago of all of her candle making supplies, and I was like, wow, that is truly so much stuff. And so I thought it would be fun if we just put in some little skill building items in here. We didn't really do that in the last build, and this house had a little bit more wiggle room. So on to this first room to the left, this is our master bedroom, and it's pretty chill compared to the amount of cluttering up that I've done to a lot of these other rooms. And then on this side, they have, again, another little chill moment with that kind of feature wall. Something about those vertical panels just makes me feel calm. Like I would love to have those in my bedroom. It just brings me a sense of peace to see a whole wall that's like almost cushioned. We're not going to analyze that too much. Anyway, they have some little clutter things. We will move on to, let's go to the bathroom. In this bathroom, we have 4 Sims that need to use it. Shower stall, then we have a terribly ugly little shelf. I'm so sorry to this family that I gave them this plastic looking white shelf because they have this really nice towel rack underneath, and then they have this terrible, awful shelf to hold all their other things, and I just could not be bothered to find a shelf that I liked more that actually fit clutter items, so that's what they got. And then in the tiny room, we have, oh my god, the toilet. I didn't put anything in here. I was gonna put toilet paper, and I was gonna put a plunger, and I was gonna put, they have a little window up here, so that's kind of nice for them. I was gonna put like a light switch. Maybe I'll do that later. On to the teens' room. So they have little bunk beds. Their room is kind of small and funky and weird shaped. We have a mirror here, very nice. And then we have their big, huge desk setup, which makes me really happy. I love these pegboard things. I used to have one of these in my room. The last house that I lived in when I was in college, I had one of these above my desk. Actually, I had a couple. 2 of these like big square panels, and they had different things on them, and it was really cute, and I really liked it. So this brings me back to that. I really love this rug. Like, I don't think we have another rug in the game that has as pretty of a texture as this. Okay, I think that's the house done. Out the chimney we go. And on to, oh my god, where are we going? On to, what's it called? Bay. This one's Bay. I have a couple different ideas in my head. One of them depends on if werewolves age or not. I don't know enough about werewolves to say if that is true, but assuming that werewolves do not age, I'm gonna say that there's a teen who turned into a werewolf and they've just been crashing here. Maybe they're like hundreds of years old or whatever, but they live here by themselves and they just got stuck as a teen. So it's really messy because they never really learned how to maintain a house. The outside of the house looks really nice. It's really cute. The bones of the house are good, but they don't even have any like wallpaper up. There's no paint on the walls. There's even some holes in the walls. Just a lot of mess in here and just lots of posters. This one was kind of fun because I love just putting up all kinds of like messy stuff and being intentionally messy about it. Like there are some new little clutter items for teens and things that I haven't gotten to use yet. So that was fun. And then back here they have a little bookshelf and we have a tiny weird little bathroom. Out we go to their back patio. And this one is kind of gross. Because I gave them a pool. There was a reason I gave them a pool. I think bay. I think just the house being bay and thinking of like being by the bay, like being by the water. I just felt like they needed a pool. And then I was thinking to myself, why would I give them a nice pool when the whole inside of their house looks terrible? They probably also don't know how to take care of a pool. So I gave them a really disgusting moss-filled pool and a really disgusting little ladder. And then they have like a bench out here that's just a log with some moss on it and some mushrooms. And then at this point, I kind of forgot and then remembered again that I gave them a dog. So I gave them a tiny little tennis ball so they can play with their dog. That's that one done. And now we are on to our last house. This is Celery. I almost forgot the name of it. And these are the Celery sisters. There is a child and teen, and the teen takes care of the child, and this family is supposed to have a secret, or it's supposed to be hiding something. I think that's what it said. So they're hiding something. What are they hiding? We are going to find out shortly. And here we have the living room entryway area. It's very pink and girly. It's just fun times. These 2 sisters living by themselves. I totally almost forgot that we needed a shower in here at one point, so I had to redo the whole thing to make room for the shower. And And then we just have their little towels and stuff, and it's very, again, just cute and girly in here. Then going around the corner, we have our little calendar thing. We have some more family pictures that they'll put in one day. We have a little height chart for the child that her sister's been tracking her growth on. We have a little family board because the older sister has to parent the younger one. We have some little aprons for when they cook together. What are they cooking? Not very much because they only have a toaster oven. I really love these curtains. These curtains were a pleasant surprise for me. And also this hanging fruit basket I think is just so cute. And then we have our fun little fridge, and I put a little cabinet above it and a little smoke detector. And you may recall that the upstairs of this house, oh, I haven't gone all the way up, is unfinished. Oh, I went too far. The upstairs of this house is unfinished. We have the little unfinished walls, and they've just tried to cover them with posters as best they can because this was an add-on, and they are but a child and a teen, and they do not have the skills to renovate a whole upper floor. So they're just living up here because there's no room to be anywhere else. They have their little bunk bed that they share, and they have their different decorations on each level. It's very sweet. There's a crazy little dollhouse that they built together one day. And then they have, like I said, just all their posters trying to cover up the walls. Little activity table. And then around here, we have a computer desk where probably the teen gets stuff done or something. I don't know. And then we have a curious little balcony. And what do we have in the balcony but a ladder trellis down to the back patio where we have a tent and some camping supplies? For what? What could they be hiding back here? Well, I'm thinking, what is the kid doing sneaking out? Like, how are they sneaking out? And also, I just fenced in the whole backyard with bushes, so they're not really going anywhere. So what else could be back here that the kid is trying to get to? And I have decided that their parent is a criminal, and their parent lives back here, and the child comes back here to check on their parent, make sure they have food. When the teen is at school or work, the parent will sneak into the house to use the bathroom, but otherwise they live back here, and they're a fugitive on the run, and the teen is really responsible, so they just don't get along with their criminal parent, and the child just really wants to have their parent in their life. So this is the situation. And what a dramatic way to end. But that is it for part 1 of our Spice Village series. I'm going to be doing 5 more of these, which I cannot believe because these took me forever. But I'm going to be making the whole set. I'm going to go in alphabetical order, so if you want to figure out what's coming next, that you can definitely do that. And if you have any ideas for me, if you like this spinning a random generator for the families, if you want to suggest potential family configurations for our next set of builds, I am all ears. But thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.